Yes, I think there are several dimensions involved. One of them is that sometimes we raised such a high expectation on the prospective users that if the technology does not behave like they expected, they are somehow they stop trusting the solution. So that's why it is important that users are involved from the beginning and that they know what the capabilities of the technology can be. There are other aspects, for example, that they see what's the benefit that they can obtain from using the tool. So during trials, if the tool is, for example, prescribed by the doctor or they are involved the research team, then people are more with more probability going to engage. But after this happens and they are on their own, if the technology did not bring an advantage for the everyday life, then they would discontinue using it. This is also related to the fact that technology is, let's say, deployed in the device that the user usually has. So if you need some special equipment or it has a cost to use the technology, then that the users cannot afford, then this also diminishes the probabilities that users continue with the technology. And in the particular case of mental health, which is the focus of our MENHIR project, sometimes the fact that the users stop using the technology is not negative. For example, if you're using the technology to help users achieve a better well-being, a better mental health, then the technology goes with them along the way, and when they're feeling okay, then it may be the case that they don't need it anymore. So it would be the same idea as when users go to a non-profit. They are with them when they need them, and then they can go back to, let's say, a normal life without scaffolding. No? So the same could happen with the technology, because sometimes also the solution could be a reminder that they are unwell. So there are all these subtle dimensions that could be involved and that we found. I think there are two sides. One is that users must be able to operate the technology, so they must be prepared, and we have to accompany them along the way. This is one aspect. A second aspect is that the technology must be designed with the users in mind. So, for example, we are working with conversational technologies, so we have to adapt to the way that users express themselves. So not thinking in the design team, let's say, what could be the ways, the commands that could be used, etc., but adapting to how it could be normally said. So I think there are both sides, that every time there is a new technology, you have to be used to it, and it would be better if we could be there for the users. But also it is necessary that it is usable, and that the needs of the users, the ways in which it is more comfortable for them to operate the technology, are also taken into account. In the project, we didn't have this negative experience because it was well accepted. But on the other hand, we have worked very closely with Mental Health Association, and for example, when we started to think of how the chatbot would look like, we thought about quite advanced conversations. For example, we have a scenario in which the user is reminded about the activities in which they can be involved that can help their well-being. And we were thinking, okay, so we would have these notifications, and as the user is getting better, maybe give less support. But then they told us in the association that it was better to have always the same behavior, because it is more predictable for the user, and some users, because of if depending on the problems that they have, may think, so why it is not telling me now that, and why did it stop notifying? And so sometimes we think of what could be great. Artificial intelligence learns the patterns, learns how to communicate better with the user and show more intelligent behavior from our perspective, of course. And sometimes simpler technology does a better job for some users.